Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Creating Content That Will Grow Your Audience Online. My name is Paula McCain. I'm a Recovery Business Advisor for North Central Texas Small Business Development, and the flamingo is my spirit animal. The SBDC is a leading provider of assistance for small businesses. We are grant funded, and because of that, it allows us to provide services such as this webinar to you at no cost. This is the 22nd in our COVID-19 funded presentations. So a little bit of housekeeping. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat room, and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation when Marcia has finished and is available to answer all your questions. I want to introduce to you Marcia Hudson. Marcia is a social media and branding specialist. She's working with the University of Houston SBDC and has been since 2015, teaching social media and digital marketing. She's a professor of English at Wharton County Junior College in Sugar Land. She received her education specialist degree from Walden University and attended Sam Houston State University and the University of Houston. She is also a professional photographer with her husband, specializing in branding, headshots, lifestyle, and real estate photography. Thank you, Marcia, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here today. So with today's webinar, we're so excited to be bringing you the newest trend in social media and how to create content. So we're going to get started with the webinar.
Okay, here we go. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we always like to give a special thanks to the North Central Texas Small Business Development Center for bringing us these awesome webinars. And we always want to make sure that we are thankful because of this service. So I hope that you guys are ready to take some great notes and you're ready to get some great information. And we're thanking the North Central Texas Small Business Development Center for bringing us this webinar today. So we are going to get started.
Okay, do you see the screen?
Yeah. So I hope you guys will relax, stay to the end because we're going to have Q&A and we're also going to have some free resources. So grab a pen and a paper and feel free to take screenshots of the webinar today because we have a lot planned for you. Okay, so today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. Sometimes we have a lot of things that we want to do, like we want to build our business, or we want to write a book, or we want to revamp our social media or build our brand. And oftentimes, with life being so fast and we're having so much to do, we put it off to tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes a month, and a month becomes 3 months, and 3 months becomes a year. But we want to make sure that when we have our goals down, and we're going to talk about goals today, that we put a time period on it so that they won't get away from us. So I always like to say, and I like these sayings, today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. So when you leave the training today, you want to think about the things that we talked about today. You want to think about the things that we learned today, and maybe take the next 48 hours to put some of those things into play. So today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. So I am Marsha Lynn Hudson, your social media, and I'm a digital strategist. And basically, I help business owners, entrepreneurs, side hustlers with their branding. I help them with social media, with strategies. I'm also an author, a blogger, a writer, a trainer. I love everything that deals with social media and digital marketing. And I am a course creator. And like in my introduction, I'm a professor of writing here in Houston. I do like to design websites to help business owners. Also, I'm a professional photographer. And basically, as a photographer, we work with business owners with headshots and things like that. I'm a wife, a lover of life. And you can find so many free resources and other things about me at my website, marshalynnhudson.com. So today's agenda is going to be great. We have some great information planned for you. So we're going to talk about defining your goals, how to be able to define the goals that you want social media to bring about for you. We're also going to talk about the 5 pillars of content, the type of content that we should be posting on social media, how to use storytelling to increase your engagement, because storytelling builds brands. And we're also going to be talking about the best times to post online, because there are some optimal times that we can post online where people can tend to find us better. Also, we'll be looking at how to use images and video in your posts, why and how to use hashtags. So many people ask me, well, what are hashtags and what do they do? Well, we're going to learn that today. And lastly, we're going to look at how to create a weekly content calendar for your social media. So feel free to take some screenshots with your phone. So the first thing is we want to talk about what are the main goals for social media. Now, when I teach social media and strategies, I always like to ask people, well, what are your main goals? So we're going to try to write down wherever you are, think about what your goals are and write them down. But here are a few of the major goals that social media can bring about for us. Number one, social media can drive traffic to your website. So that's one reason to really be active on social media, because it drives traffic to your website. So you might say, well, that's one of my goals. I really want more traffic to come to my website. So social media would do that for you. Secondly, a goal may be to increase awareness. You may think, well, I need for more people to be aware of my business and my products and my services. So social media would do that for you. You might think, well, one of my goals is to build a solid brand online. Now, a brand is more than just colors or your logo or whatever. Your brand is everything about your business. Your brand is how people look at your business, how people feel about it. And another popular goal is to position yourself as an industry leader. So social media will do that. So when you position yourself as an industry leader, that causes people to want to purchase from you. So when we move to the next slide, I want you to think about these 4 goals. And I know people are like, well, I want social media to bring me money. And that's our ultimate goal. But that's at the end of the social media funnel. Once people start visiting your website, getting becoming aware of you and your services, looking at your brand and following your brand, and then seeing you as a leader in your industry. That's when the sales come. So that's one of our last goals. So think about these and think about, as we move forward, what would you like for social media to do for you? Because for me, I have my goals for social media, and they may be different from the next person's goals for social media. So we're going to look at that on this next slide. Okay, so hopefully you're following along with me. You're keeping up. So, out of those four goals, write down two of your goals that you have for your business. And as we move through the training, keep those goals in the forefront of your mind, because when you have your goals defined, then you know what to post on social media, what kind of content to post on social media, and then you know how to attract the audience you want. So goals are very important for helping us to achieve the results that we want. All right, so I really like this saying by Seth Godin: marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, but about the stories that you tell. A few years ago, and I started with social media training and learning everything about it in 2015, because as a photographer, and I had been running my photography business since 2000, I realized around 2015 things were slowing down a little. So that's when I went and got certified to teach social media and learned everything I could so I can keep my business afloat. Well, fast forward to some years now, is so different from how it was in 2015. We would post to social media and pretty much post about our business or post about our services or promote our businesses and promote our services. Well, it's so different today. So marketing is no longer about the stuff we make. It is about the stories that we tell. And that's what we're going to learn in this training today. So, what can you do to grow your business online? And I think about that every day when I'm working with my own business, trying to grow online, working with my clients, trying to grow them online. But that's what we all want as small business owners, entrepreneurs. Even if you have a side hustler, you want to be online. It's not an option anymore because everybody's online. 3.7 billion people online. It's just not an option for us as small business people. So we can't say, well, maybe I'll post to social media. No, you have to have a presence online. And the way to grow it is right here: publish fresh, relevant content on a regular basis. And I'm going to talk about what's a regular basis. It doesn't have to be every day. You don't have to be online 5 days a week. We're going to talk about how to build a strong brand or grow your business online in just 3 days a week. So that's the answer to growing your business online. Publish fresh, relevant content on a regular basis. Okay, so the 5 pillars of content. So you really want to get these pillars down. I post every day. Well, I post 6 days a week on everywhere, on all of my sites: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I have a podcast and video, but that's my business. So I'm supposed to be there all of the time. But for you, I like to say, for business owners who, I know you're busy and you're building your business, 3 days work, but I use 5 pillars of content for all of my online marketing. Whether it's my social media, I pick from one of these pillars, whether it's my podcast, my blog, my YouTube, everything comes from one of these pillars. So it makes it easy, so that we don't have to keep thinking, well, what do I do for content? Where do I go get content? Well, these 5 pillars will be all you need to publish content for your social sites. And so we're going to look at these these five in detail. The first one is the about me pillar, where you talk about your why. The second one is the motivational or inspirational or encouragement pillar that I usually get content from. Educate and inform. Pillar four, go behind the scenes. Let people see your business behind the scene. And then pillar five is showcase your products and services. Now, I joke with some of my clients when I'm doing assessment on their social media. Like I'll go to their Facebook and do an assessment, or I go to their LinkedIn and do an assessment. And I'm like, okay, you're only posting from pillar five. So you can't just showcase your products and services. You can sometimes because, yes, you're in business and you need to make money. But social media today is about storytelling. So you want to mix it up with variety from the other four also, and not just from pillar five, because things have changed. It used to be we would mainly post from pillar five, but now we want to make a variety storytelling, because that's what keep people interested, that's what builds brands, and that's what turn lookers into customers. So we're going to take a closer look at the five pillars of content. And I put an image here of a cell phone and a computer, because this is where people stay. Quite a bit. People live on their phones or on the computer. We are on our phones, we're on the computers, we're online. And so if you want to grow your business, you have to be there on that phone, on that computer. So when people log in, they will find you. And people, that is how people look for services. They go online, they go to Google, they check you out on Facebook to see if you have an online presence, or they check you out on LinkedIn. So it's so important to have an online presence, and it's so important to put the right type of content. So we're going to take a closer look at each pillar and give an example. Okay, so pillar one. So in this pillar, and I just talk about these pillars are categories that I get my content from. So I'm not thinking, well, what do I post? What do I post? This one is the about and your why pillar. For instance, let's say you are going to be posting on a Tuesday and you're going to post to your Facebook or your Instagram, your LinkedIn. Well, your content can come from this pillar for that Tuesday, and we are going to talk about a calendar, a plan at the end. So in this pillar, I usually post about why I love social media. I love teaching it, I love researching for it, I love helping business owners with it. And you can post why you love your business or why you started your business, so that can be a post. And some days you can do a post about, maybe about a segment of your services or a segment of your business. So from this category, I like to tell people that people are getting to know you as the business owner, and people like to know you as the business owner, because people do business with people rather than their business. So this is a great pillar to post from. So some people say, well, Marsha, how often should I post from pillar one, or do I use them all? You do one pillar at a time. So you might post from to pillar one maybe 1 day a week. Or it could be 2 days a week, depending on how many days you're posting. And when we get to creating a calendar, and I'll go more into detail with this. So this pillar is just like talking to a friend. So if you go to Facebook and you post, it's like talking to a friend. You can post about your struggles. You can post about how maybe you lack motivation sometimes. I know I do. Or you can talk about, how you're thinking about maybe adding something or changing something. But this pillar right here is simply like you're just talking to someone. So when you post to Facebook and you start typing in the content area, just pretend you're talking to a friend, telling about your company, about your why, and even about you. So yes, you can post Also about your passions, what you're passionate about. Even besides the passions dealing with your business, what are some of your hobbies or your interests outside of your business? And I have people saying, well, is that just getting a little bit too personal? And I tell people, you don't have to go into major personal things, but people like to know a little bit about the person. For instance, one of my passions is nature and walking. I love being in nature. I love going walking. And I post about it sometimes. I may be out on a stroll. I may take a picture with my phone and post it to my Facebook and talk about how it's a nice day. This business owner is taking a stroll. I mean, I can always tie it to me being a business owner, but talking about my passions. I really enjoy sitting out at coffee houses, taking notes, watching videos. I love to learn. And sometimes I may take a picture of me with my coffee mug and my paper and post it and talk about it on Instagram. What am I doing? I'm posting about my passions. People are getting to know me as a business owner. And this is what social media is about now. And the algorithms, which are the machines, will let more people see your content. So sometimes I post about my struggles, how I may be having a hard time being creative, or how I may be having a hard time with something new that I'm creating. And people will comment, and say something like, well, keep working hard. It's wonderful. So it becomes a two-way street. And that's what you want from this category. So, pillar two is a huge pillar that people like. And we're talking about content that engage people, content that interests people, and content that keeps people coming back to your site. So, this is the motivational, inspirational pillar. And basically, you can get motivational quotes, success sayings. I usually find I have a book with a lot of quotes that I purchased from the bookstore and sayings. Sometimes you can find them on Google or wherever. But here's a great motivational or inspirational saying that I like from Marie Forleo. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do consistently. And I like that because we don't have to be on social media every day, all day. We just need to be consistent with our 2 to 3 days. So I think it's pretty motivational when you realize, oh, I don't have to be on every day. And so you can find quotes for business owners, success quotes, quotes for entrepreneurs. Now, sometimes I do what I call Motivational Monday. And every Monday I post maybe on my Facebook or my Instagram and LinkedIn a motivational quote or a motivational saying. So I post that from that pillar, and mainly I do use it on Mondays. Sometimes I'll use it on a Friday. But what I'm trying to teach you today is all you need to do is pick content from a pillar for your 2 to 3 days, and you will continue to be consistent online. So, pillar three, behind the scenes. So, a behind the scenes pillar will let people kind of get behind the scenes and let people see how you maybe start your morning routine, or give them some insight into the back end of your business. Now, I am a photographer, so behind the scenes for me can be sometimes I make video. I may set up my video camera, put my tripod, and take a picture and post it, because what I'm doing is I'm showing a behind the scenes. I may be studying or researching for social media, and I may take a picture and post it because I'm showing my behind the scene. So behind the scenes kind of, like I say, what we tell ourselves every day will either lift us up or tear us down. So if we're telling ourselves, okay, I love my business behind the scenes, I love my morning routine, show it. I love what I do, show it. Because when we're excited about our routine, when we're excited about how we run our business behind the scenes, we're lifted up. up and we're not torn down. So this is a sample of behind the scenes. So here's another picture of behind the scenes. I love this picture because let's say for me, I'm always writing, I'm always studying, I always have a coffee mug. And so I always say I could take a picture of that. I could be sitting on my patio or balcony and post that because it's a behind the scenes type post and a behind the scenes type of content that people really resonate with. So here's another example of behind the scenes because people ask me quite a bit, well, what do you mean, Marsha, by behind the scenes? And it can be very informal. And this is me on my patio taking notes with my pen. And I just think, oh, this is a great behind the scenes caption. Take a picture and post about it to my Instagram, my Facebook, or whatever. So we never run out of content when we choose from these five pillars. So this is so what I'm showing you are a few examples of the behind the scenes because oftentimes people ask me, well, what do you do with behind the scenes? So I wanted to show a few examples of the behind the scenes. And that's for me in my business, whether it's social media, I'm doing something behind the scenes, or my routine or my photography. But you have to think behind your what can you show behind the scenes? I have a client and they have a bakery, and they will take pictures of them, delivering some of the goods. That's behind the scenes. Okay, so pillar 4, educate and inform. This is a great pillar to use content from because what I find that is people like knowledge. It's like those of you who are here today, you're here for knowledge. People like knowledge. And so when I post from this category of this pillar, I'm thinking, how can I educate or how can I inform my clients for my business? And you would think, how can I educate or how can I inform my clients on something from my industry? And so what I do is I do short, what I call short snackable information. It may be 4 ways to get the followers you want, or I may do a post on 3 types of something, or 2 reasons to post consistently. So I do short, snackable type information to educate people on all things social media, branding, and things like that. Now, I make a lot of my content or my images from what I call Canva. And don't forget to write your questions down in case you have a question for me at the end. But Canva, and I'll spell it, is Canva, and you can go to canva.com. They have a free version. I use the paid version. I use Canva every day, but the free version is good also. But Canva, you can go to Canva and design something like this in a matter of minutes, where you would put something from your own industry, 3 ways to do something, and then post it to your sites and put the content. So Canva is great for making little captions like this for your snackable content. And you want to make sure whenever you post from this pillar, you want to say, am I educating someone on something from my industry? Am I informing? Am I maybe teaching something from my industry? For instance, let's say you were a designer, interior designer, and you posted from pillar 4. You could post 3 types of color schemes to work for the living room, you see? Or let's say you were a real estate professional and you posted from this pillar. You could talk about trends on rates, finance rates and charges and things like that. So what are you doing? You're educating people on the market. And so all of those things will help people to see that you are a person of value when you post educational and informative information from your industry. So here are a few little examples of what I call snackable content that you could post from this category. 3 ways to do something or learn something from your industry. So you just want to sit down and think, what could I teach? 3 ways to do what from my industry? One secret to being, okay? So sometimes just giving one tip is something that people want. I gave a webinar and I said one secret to being successful online is, and I told her one secret, and I said it's showing up and solving problems, and that is true. And so when you show up and solve problems through your content, you're going to grow your business. 5 things I did to. So these are just examples of snackable content that you can post to Facebook or Instagram. And it doesn't have to be long. It just needs to be informative or educational. New current trends, maybe some trends from your industry in your field of business and how to become. So these are just little examples of what you could post in the snackable content from this pillar. And how do we get to our favorite pillar, showcase our products and services? So let's say you have a product or you have a service. Maybe you are a consultant and you offer 60-minute, 90-minute consultations, or maybe you have created a product, or you have a video series, or you have a book or something. So yes, you do want to showcase your products and services, um, but we don't want that to be all that we do on social media. Like I said, it's changed quite a bit. We used to do this quite a bit. We made it like social media, we were selling and promoting our products and letting people know. But the algorithms, which are the machines that run the social media, will not let people see if that's what you're doing all of the time on your social site. So I can't stress that enough. Do not showcase, promote on your social media sites too much, because you will not get the visibility. So here's an example of showcasing products and services. I give webinars. That is one of my services. And so I might post about a webinar. I may say something like, I'm very excited. I'm giving a webinar on how to use content to grow your business. Now, I might post that to LinkedIn, or I might post that to Instagram or Facebook, but it's not going to be a lot. Or I may post about a course that I have. I have other products. So these are some things that you would do if you're going to showcase your products and services. So here are the 3 elements of a good post. So when I say a good post, let's say, for instance, you are posting to Facebook. And let's say it is a Wednesday, because that is a great day to post to Facebook. We're going to talk about the best times to post on social media. So let's say you are going to make your post on a Wednesday for Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. So you want to have your content from one of those 5 pillars that I just talked about. So you might say, well, I'm going to post today is Wednesday from pillar 3, or I'm going to post content from pillar 4. So you want to make sure you have your content down for your post. Secondly, always post an image or a video. Okay, so even though you're going to have content, you want a picture with your content. Never just post content without adding an image. And I like to tell people there are places that you can get copyright free images and you don't have to pay. 2 places that I really like to get images from for my social sites are Unsplash. And Unsplash is Unsplash. Don't forget to write your questions down in case you have a question about that. And I also like Pixels, which is Pexels. Now, these are 2 sites where you can get copyright free images and they're good images where photographers we donate our images there for people to use for their social sites, and then we get credit for doing that, so it kind of helps build our reach. So you can use those because you can't just go to Google and get an image and put on your site because it might be copyrighted. So you definitely don't want to do that. You want to go to these places, or some people get them from stock photos. Well, you want to go there and find images to post with your site. Now, let's say you don't want to do an image, you want to do a video that day, which is wonderful because video really is the type of content that will build your reach. So you might decide, well, Wednesday, I'm going to post from category or pillar one, the about or my why, but I'm going to do a video for my Facebook. So what I normally do, and I teach people to do, is really easy to do a video, even if it's just one video a week. And people are like, Marsha, I am so afraid of being in front of the camera. I do not like being in front of the camera. I get it. I definitely get it. But once you kind of do a few and you get your background and you sit with the light coming in your face and you have just 2 to 3 minutes worth of content, it's going to be good and you will get over that. So you may pick up your phone, turn your camera on, make your 2 to 3 minute video from the pillar one, and then post it. So you can post a video instead of an image. And then thirdly, and we have a little information on that in the training, hashtag. And hashtags are so important. That's that little pound sign with, with words like hashtags from your industry or hashtags from your location or trending hashtag like hashtag COVID or hashtag work from home or industry hashtag for me, social media. So every time, and this is some valuable information, every time you go to post, whether it's to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, you want to put your content, your image or video, and your hashtags. Now, each social site will have a limit of hashtags, and we'll talk about that limit as we move on. But these are the 3 elements of a good post. You never just want to post content without an image, and you always want to add hashtags. Okay, so here is an activity for you for wherever you are. I'm a teacher, so I have to have an activity for you. So wherever you are, think about this. If you're following along with this, if you want to do this activity, so choose content from one of the pillars. Okay, so we talked about the about pillar, the motivational pillar. We talked about the behind the scenes pillar 3, education pillar 4, and showcasing your product pillar 5. And I kind of know them by heart because I post from them every day. And once you start, you're going to know them by heart. It's going to make it so easy. So just let's say you picked something from one of the pillars and you were going to write about, let's say, the education one, 3 ways to do something from your industry. Then secondly, you would choose an image to match it from Unsplash. We talked about Unsplash. This is where you would go, and you can go to Unsplash, and in the search bar, put anything. You can put computer in the search bar and pictures of computers will come up if it matches your content. Or you can put people in the search bar and pictures of people will come up in Unsplash. Or you can put technology, cell phones will come up. So you want a picture to match your content, and you can get that from Unsplash. Then you're going to include 3 to 5 hashtags. For instance, if you're posting to Facebook, and as of now, because Facebook changes all of the time, when you post to Facebook, you only want to use 2 hashtags. Okay, using a lot of hashtags, Facebook will dock you. Okay, so for LinkedIn, if you're posting there, you can use 5 hashtags or 6 hashtags. Now for Instagram, you can use up to 30 hashtags. So you want to, I don't ever really use 30 hashtags on Instagram, but you can. I usually use about 15, but I never do more than 2 on Facebook. I never do more than 5 or 6 on LinkedIn. I go up to 15. You can go up to 30 on Instagram. So you want to make sure you stay in the range of what each site likes for hashtags as of now, because you'll get docked. They won't show your content as much if you have too many in the wrong place. So then you just combine all three and you have a post. That's why I tell people, once you get this down, you can actually post to 2 to 3 sites in one sitting in 30 minutes, because it just doesn't take long. You can pull up and post to Facebook with this right here in 5 minutes. Then you pull up your LinkedIn another 5 minutes. So you can actually run your social media really in under 30 minutes on your days. So let's talk about a content and posting calendar. So how would you make a calendar? Now, I'm I really believe in the content calendar. Okay, that is a game changer. It is a lifesaver, and I'm going to talk about it in a few minutes. You can look, you can take a screenshot with your phone. So for me, I usually make a content calendar weekly. Some people make them monthly. Some people are wonderful and they make them for 3 months out. But I like the weekly content calendar because this is a game changer. And I remember before the pandemic started, I had so much content to post and I was posted everywhere. And I'm like, well, where do I post today? What do I post? Where am I going to get this from? And I remember watching a training like this, and the presenter talked about creating a content calendar the week before or on the monthly basis. And when I started doing that, oh my gosh, it changed the game. It helped me to be consistent, and it becomes a habit. So what I do is I like to pick a day, and I call it a pre-planning day, to plan my schedule. And I may do it on the weekend for the upcoming week. For instance, it may be a Saturday or it may be a Sunday afternoon. And normally my pre-planning takes about 1 to 2 hours. So I'm planning what I'm going to be posting for that week. And I have three, and I suggest 3 folders on your computer. So one folder, you can put your content ideas in that folder. Type it in Word, put your content ideas. A second folder, you can put all of your images that you got from Unsplash. Maybe you pick 10 images and put them in that folder. And then a third folder is your hashtag folder. And I'm going to tell you how to get hashtags from me free from my site at the end. So now you have a folder with content, a folder with images, and a folder with hashtags. And let's say it's a Saturday and you got your coffee or your tea. It is nice outside and you're planning. And what I do is also, okay, for Monday, I'm going to post a motivational saying from Pillar One to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Instagram. On Tuesday, I'm going to do, and I write it out and plan it. And I would, if I'm going to do a video, okay, Wednesday is my video day. This is what I'm going to put in the video. These are going to be my hashtag. I tell you, if you take this pre-planning day and do this before the upcoming week, you will stay consistent. I just can't stress it enough. It has been a lifesaver and a game changer for me. And if you're busy on a Saturday, get it done on a Sunday afternoon, but take 1 to 2 hours for your planning. Then when you pick your 2 to 3 days to post, it will not take you a long time to post. Now, these are the best days to post, Mondays through Fridays. Now, let's say you're going to pick 3 days. Now, I tell people 3 days is ideal. Okay. You don't need to do more than three. You need to just show up and be consistent. Social media is about quality over quantity. So let's say you're going to do 3 days and you decide, I'm going to show up online Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Then those will be your 3 days. Now, let's say you're working 8 hours and you're really busy. Then maybe you want to start with 2 days a week. And then you may say, okay, my 2 days are going to be Wednesday and Thursday or whatever. But you want to pick those days and you want to stick to showing up, because what happens is people look for you on those days, and the algorithms will push you out more because you're consistent on those days. So pick your days and stick to those days. Then you choose your images that will go to your post from your folder that we talked about. So you have your folder with your images, and you choose the images that you are going to be using for your site. Then you block off 30, it really won't take 45 minutes. You block off about 30 minutes between the hours of 10 and 3. These are the best hours for posting. So let's say Tuesday and you're going to post, or Wednesday, you block off 10 to 10:30. That is your you I tell people, look at that 30 minutes as the time that you're building your business online, the time that you are positioning your business to get more clients. So look at it like that. And when you don't block off that time, then you're saying, okay, I don't want to build my business and I don't want to get more clients, which we all want to do that. Or let's say one of the days you were busy at 10. That's okay. Then block off 1 to 1:30. It's a great time to post. Block off 1 to 1:30, and then you post to your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn. Now if you're posting to one site, it's not even going to take you 30 minutes because you did your pre-planning. So just keep in mind, whenever you block off this time, you sit at your computer or wherever you are, think to yourself, these 30 minutes, what am I doing? I'm building my business. I'm showing up online. I'm positioning myself to get more customers. And when you don't do it, it's the opposite. So block off that time for your 2 to 3 days. And then you want to keep a consistent weekly schedule. And you hear me keep saying consistent, 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 because everything that you're learning today on the training will not work if you're not consistent. And I was talking to a client yesterday, and I was preaching the consistent thing. And that's why I say 3 days a week is okay. But I was telling the client, I say, isn't that the way life is with everything? If we're not consistent, then it doesn't work. Let's say we want to lose weight or we want to get healthier. Well, we have to consistently make good food choices. If we don't, it doesn't work. Or I tell my students, and I teach at the college, what if you come to class one week and you don't come the next week, and you turn in something, you don't turn in something the following, then you're not going to get a good grade. But what if you consistently show up at class, consistently turn in your work, consistently take the lecture, you're going to do well. So it pretty much is like that with anything in life. When we are consistent over time, we get the results. When we're not consistent, we don't get the results. So it's very important to keep a consistent weekly schedule. So where do we get ideas for content? So you might say, okay, Marsha, you talked about the 5 pillars. You write all of the time. You're a professor. Well, where would I get ideas? That is a great question. So I think to myself, okay, what is it that people want? Because I can think that, okay, let me put this out there because Marsha likes it. Well, it doesn't mean a thing if people are not interested in it. So a good place to get ideas is to go to where people are. So blogs, let's say you're reading blogs or online articles, you may get an idea for a post from a blog or an article. Maybe somebody wrote a blog and you're like, wow, that's a great idea for one of my posts. You can get ideas from the emails that you get. I keep what I call a swipe file. And so I may go to my Gmail and I have a lot of emails, but I may have an email where somebody sent an email on how to grow your email. And I'm thinking that's a good email. I'm going to put that in my swipe file. I'm going to save it for later in case I can get some tips for a good post. I may get an email on how to add video to your marketing mix. So then what I may do then is I get that email, I put it in my swipe file, right? Because I want to keep it for later in case I need to go and get some ideas. Facebook groups are wonderful, and I'm going to be giving a webinar here. So check the site, the site here. I'm going to be giving a webinar on Facebook, but Facebook groups are wonderful for getting ideas, because if you join one or two Facebook groups, and I always tell people it's a great idea to join one or two, not too many, because you want to be active. You go to the group and you pay attention to the questions, and questions that people are asking make for great content. For instance, I'll go to one of my Facebook groups that I'm a member of, and I'll just scroll through it. And I saw somebody saying, I want to start a business online. What do I need to do to get started? That was a great post for me. And I thought, I'm going to do a post on 3 ways to get started with online business. And so I got ideas from people, because we don't want to think, well, maybe I'll do this. No, you want to make sure people are asking questions, they're looking for information on it, and you're the one to give them the information. YouTube is a great place to get ideas. So sometimes when I do run out of ideas, because I post everywhere, I'll go to YouTube. I just go to youtube.com, pull up YouTube, put in a keyword. I may put in Facebook ads. A lot of videos come up, and I get ideas for a post. Or I may put in the keyword social media marketing, or I may put in content creation, and all of these YouTube videos come up. What do? I get ideas from it. I don't per se copy everything, but I love getting ideas. And this is a great place to get ideas for your posts. Questions from Quora. And Quora is a place where people go and ask questions on every type of subject. So if you go to Quora.com, and it's free, you may go and type in blog, and you're going to see people asking all kinds of questions about blog. If you're a blogger, you can get some great ideas, even ideas for your posts. Or you may put in the search bar in Quora, content creation, or anything that deals with your industry. People ask questions on this site from every type of industry. And if you can become the person who shows up, give value, answer questions in your post, that's another thing you can do in your post. You can do Q&A posts where you pick a question and you answer it. So Quora is a great place. Pinterest is a wonderful place for ideas. As we know, Pinterest and Google are both search engines. And Pinterest is really growing in 2021. It's a site to keep your eye on, because people go there to shop. That's the first thing. People go there to look for information. Pinterest is mainly the biggest audience is women, but it's a search engine. It's a search engine just like Google. So if people go to Pinterest and put in anything, ideas for anything, you're going to find so many ideas. And then, of course, lastly, you can get ideas from Google. So when I say ideas, don't forget I talked about snackable content to post in your social media and on your online branding, because variety is going to build your audience, variety is going to keep them interested, and variety is going to win with the algorithms. Then the algorithms, which are the machines, will say, oh, we're going to let more people see her content because the content is valuable. Oh, let's let more people see. And that's what you're trying to do with your content. Okay, so we are almost at the end for Q&A. So hopefully you have your questions. Well, let's talk a little bit about hashtags, a little pound size, the why and how. Why should we use hashtags, and how do we use them in our content? Now, don't forget, hashtags will help you to get attention. Hashtags will help you to connect with people in every walk of life. So the hashtag is used to actually draw attention, promote, and connect. People can find you through your hashtag, and you get discovered through hashtags. So let's say you are posting to your social site and you put hashtag interior designer. Then other people who are looking for interior designers will find your information or discover you. Hashtags are great. And we talked about how many to use for each site. Hashtags also help you get found by your target audience. So when you put industry hashtag, like hashtag real estate, if that's your target audience, or hashtag education consultant. So hashtags will also help you get found by your audience. Now you can double your engagement and your click rate through hashtags. People will find you and they'll start engaging more and clicking through your content. So the little pound sign can be in front of a word, and it could be in front of a phrase. For instance, it could be hashtag spring 2021, or hashtag COVID-19. So it could be a word, a trending phrase. And when people are talking about that phrase or word online, you had an opportunity to be found. So we don't put any punctuation and we don't put any spaces in the end with the hashtag. You just put the hashtag and the word or the phrase at the end of your content. Now, I usually put my hashtags in the comment section so it won't clutter up my content. For instance, hashtag Ask Marsha Lynn Hudson. I love questions. Or I have a hashtag that's called hashtag Marsha Lynn Hudson. And I say to you, create your own hashtag for your business. So in other words, let's say the UHSBDC, they would have hashtag UHSBDC. So what happens is when you create your own hashtag, it becomes trending. It becomes a hashtag that now people can find your company. So hashtags are great. They're awesome to use. And another thing, hashtags have just blown up with the other social sites. We used to just have, well, Twitter, and Twitter created hashtag. Well, all of the other sites were like, wow, well, this is great for building engagement and creating awareness, so we'll add them. So now not only do you have hashtags in Twitter, you have hashtags with Instagram, you have hashtags with LinkedIn, all of it, and Facebook is coming on the board too with hashtags. So they help you. In a nutshell, hashtags help you to be discovered and found, and they help to grow and attract your ideal audience. So where can you find them? And people say, well, okay, where can I find hashtags? You're going to find hashtags on Instagram. If you just go to Instagram and type in the little pound sign, words come up. And it's amazing. And it's a hashtag on everything. If you type in hashtag spring, spring is going to come up. Hashtag March is going to hashtag running. Just any and everything that you can think of, they pop up, and you can find these hashtags and save them in your hashtag folder. You can also find hashtags on Twitter, because Twitter invented hashtags. Now you can find them on LinkedIn. In other words, when you post to your site and you go to type in the little pound sign, hashtags just pop up now because people are using them. And I always say, go see what other industry professionals are using. Go to their post and see what hashtags they have in their posts. Save them to your folder that we talked about. And now you have this big list of hashtags. You can also go to Hashtagify. Now, I always tell people, don't use the same hashtags every time you post. If you post Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, you don't want to use the same set. You don't want to overuse them because the algorithms will see them as spam. So that's why I say, and I have a hashtag guide that you can get free from my site. Let's say you get 100 hashtags, you put it in the folder where you can put 10 or 15 for one post, and then one set of maybe you have 3 or 4 sets of hashtag. Well, then you set one on one day, then you set 2 on another day, and you set 3 on the third day. So you want to not use the same ones, but you do want to use the one you create for your business every day in the set. So if you use 6 or 7 in LinkedIn, like hashtag entrepreneur or hashtag small business owner or hashtag wherever your location is, Austin, with and hashtag your company name, then you may use those on a Tuesday. But then on Wednesday, use a different set. You may use hashtag women in business or hashtag men in business or you see, or hashtag college station. So you have a different set of hashtags and not use the same ones, but you can use the different sets through the week. So don't forget, the algorithms won't work for you if you're using too many in the wrong place, like Facebook. Right now, Facebook only likes 2. It may change. We talked about LinkedIn, how many they like, and Instagram, you can do a lot. So the best times to post, so you can feel free to take a screenshot with your phone for now because it changes, but the best times to post on social media. And why do we have best times and best days? Because the research and what's going on, the algorithms realize who's on, what days a lot of people are on, what times a lot of people are on. So you get more exposure if you're posting when people are actually online. Now, of course, they're online all of the time, but according to the research, these are the best days for these sites and the best time. Now, people are like, well, Marcia, I don't want to post Monday to this one to Instagram and then Wednesday to LinkedIn and Thursday. Well, if you're going to do 2 to 3 sites, I usually say pick 2 or 3 days and pick a range of time. And then check your insights to see what's working for you. So instead of saying, oh, I have to post to Facebook Wednesday at 11, but I can't post to Instagram to Thursday at 12. No, that's too much. Pick your times, pick a range of times, pick your date, because I like to say sit down in your 30-minute block and do them all. And then you're done for the day. So if you're doing Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, sit down for your 30-minute block and do them all instead of trying to do different ones at different times. But these are the best times. So we made it to the end. A little progress each day adds up to big results. And it's what I talked about in the consistency. You don't have to spend every day online to build your business. You don't have to be all day online to build your business. Just a little progress. Just a little progress. And the days when you're not posting, maybe you'll watch a video on something that helps you to grow, a 30-minute video. Or the days that you're not posting, maybe you'll read a chapter from a business book or something. Just a little something each day adds up to big results to help your business grow and to help your plans and your goals that you wrote down. So even though you're not on social media, you may be spending your other days where even 20 minutes a day you read something or you watch a webinar like this one or you watch a video, just something to, and I will tell you this, the small things add up. So we made it to the end. This is how you can feel free to take a screenshot and connect with me everywhere online. But you can also find all of this information at my site, marshalynhudson.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to bring this information to you. I hope you got a few tips that you can take back to build and grow your business. You don't have to use everything, but at least walk away with 1 to 2 ideas and decide, I'm going to implement this in my business for the next 30 or 60 days and watch the results come in. So thank you guys for joining me, and we are going to get ready for some Q&A.
Okay, it looks like we have quite a few questions. See, Tara is asking, how do you find out how many hashtags each site likes? For instance, if Facebook changes, how many they like, how would we know that?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, Usually, but I do a lot of research and I get I'm subscribed to Facebook business thing. Usually it comes up. It shows up online. Facebook made changes. Like it was all online that Facebook made changes for January. But the way to find out is it's going to pop up, or if you have people who email you, they may let you know. But the way I find out is I do, I'll just go into Google every now and then to see if there are any changes on the site. Like for right now, Facebook made changes in January. How did I find out? Well, it was all over the internet. I mean, it just Facebook was letting people know, and Facebook was letting people know on their site. So if you're showing up, you'll know. But I find out from reading articles or reading blogs, and then somebody may do a webinar on it. That's another way. Somebody may do I did a webinar on the changing trends with Facebook in January. So you will know, but for right now you want to stick to what each site likes, but just check in on each site, check in on your emails. People are putting that information out there. And you'll find out on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is more of a professional information site. But the biggest way too is through webinars, through trainings and things like that.
Okay, let's see. Elizabeth is asking, what is the best way to use emojis? Is it better to use them on a particular platform versus other platforms?
Oh, that's a great question, Elizabeth. You can use emojis. I don't really use them on Facebook. I see people using them on Instagram quite a bit. I don't really use them on Twitter, but you can just decide how to use them as far as when you want to put in the training. I talked about putting an image or a video. So if you just want to put an emoji in your content, you can do it on any site. I don't know if the emojis increase your content, but I think people like them because they're cute. But I have seen them in Facebook, I have seen them in Twitter, I have seen them for sure in Instagram. So I think it's just a way of adding a cute little touch to your content. But I haven't found in the research where emojis boost your awareness, and that's what we really want. Now we know hashtags will, we know videos will, but that's a good question. I may look that up. That's a great question.
Okay, Lori is asking about scheduling posts. And also, what about using tools like Hootsuite or other sources to post or manage multiple social media platforms?
Oh yes, that's a great. Who is that, Lori?
Lori.
Lori, oh, that's a great question. I need to do a whole webinar on that, but I'll give you a few. So let's say you're busy on your and you have your 3 days that you've already planned out, and you're just really going to be busy that day and you can't post. So yes, you can use an auto scheduler. And let's say, and you can auto schedule your content to go out. You can be at home at 9 at night. You don't want to post at 9, but you use your auto schedule and tell your auto schedule, send this tomorrow at 10 a.m. Now, here are the ones I suggest. Okay. And let me tell you which ones you can do. Number one, you have Later. It's called later.com. Later is a great site for posting. You can post Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but not LinkedIn. So if you're not on LinkedIn, Later is good. So what you do is in your spare time, go check out later.com, and it's going to give you a lot of information on that auto schedule. It is free. And if you want to add other features, you can pay. But what you do is you sign up for Later, and then you pull in your content. You pull up your Facebook. It's wonderful. You pull up your Facebook. You pull in your picture. You write in your content. You type in your hashtag, and you tell Later, send this Wednesday at 11. It's wonderful. And then you pull up your Instagram. You pull in your picture. You put in your content, you put in your hashtag, you tell Later, send this at such and such. So that's a great auto schedule tool. It's really a partner with Instagram. So it works well with Instagram, Facebook, even Pinterest. So the second one is free also. Facebook Creator Studio. And this is new because it used to be where you could only run Instagram from your phone. So if you use Facebook Creator Studio, you can Google it and it will come up. It's free and you can post to Facebook and Instagram. So let's say those are the only two you are on. Then all you need is Facebook Creator Studio. So you pull up Facebook Creator Studio.com, you sign up and it will have your Facebook and your Instagram site there. So you open your Facebook on the site, you pull in your content. You can put your emojis too. You pull in your hashtag, you pull in your image, and you tell Creator Studio when to send it. So with Creator Studio, you can only do right now Facebook and Instagram. But with later, you could do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter also, and Pinterest. Now, if you want to do LinkedIn, because for now, LinkedIn is not with any of those auto schedules. The third one I like is Buffer. I do like Hootsuite, but it's a little pricey. I mean, if that's in your budget, I do like, but Buffer is a little cheaper and you can do them all from Buffer. You can do LinkedIn from Buffer, Instagram, you can do them all. So if LinkedIn is one of yours, you might want to do Buffer. And I think it may be 19 or something a month. So those are the three I suggest, especially if you're on a budget. If you don't do LinkedIn, later works for the others. It's free. Check that out on your own time. Facebook Creator Studio, you can Google it and you learn about it. It's free and they're easy too. I like stuff that's easy because I'm not that technology driven myself. I'm just an information person. I have a little hard time with little technology, but they're easy. I like that. And then the third one is Buffer if you do use LinkedIn. So hopefully that gives you a little, information to do a little research there.
Yeah, that's really good information. I wasn't familiar with Buffer, but Brett actually brought that up in his question about scheduling posting. So,
Right. So when people are too busy to sit down, I actually sit down my days. I block the time off and post live. But when you're too busy for that, you have to plan it. Post when you can. It might be 10 at night, which is too late to post, but you can go to the auto scheduler and tell it to go tomorrow at a certain time. Just like email.
one other thing on that I have used hashtags for, going back to hashtags, I've actually searched Facebook for using a hashtag to see what I posted previously so that I didn't continually repeat myself.
Oh, that's good. That's a great idea.
Okay, I'm going to bring up let me see
I think we
if
have
I
a
can.
slide with your information in case people need to go
There
to your
actually
site.
is one more question. Sorry to interrupt. There is one more
Oh,
question
there is.
from Elizabeth. It says, what content do you choose to put on your stories instead of your timeline posts?
Oh, that's a great question, Elizabeth. I love stories. And now, for those of you who are listening, stories are available now, not only on Instagram, you can do LinkedIn stories. Now Pinterest has stories. Everybody has stories. So stories would be something that you post, and I'll tell you what I do. And they show up for 24 hours and then they go away. And you might think, well, why post it if it's for 24 hours and then it goes away? Well, people love them and the algorithms love it when you use stories. So for instance, when I post to Instagram stories, I might post something. I always post for my categories. I might post a motivational saying on my Instagram stories. I might post tips on my Instagram stories. I may do a reel, do a little video and add it. I just use my same categories for my stories. And so sometimes I may put behind the scenes. So for me, I use from my 5 pillar for my Instagram stories. Same for Facebook stories, LinkedIn stories. I just want to make sure, because stories are huge. I want to make sure I'm using the feature because the algorithms they like that feature. So I had someone else to ask me, well, Marsha, what do you put in your stories? That's a great question. I think I'm going to put another resource on my site where people can have ideas to put in their stories. But it works the same with the snackable content, because remember, they only last 24 hours. Some people promote their services in stories. Some people promote their products, and so some people do really fun things. They put a quiz in stories. Some people use a poll where they, put a poll together and ask people questions. Some people do a survey in story. It's just so much that you can do in stories, but you definitely want to use that feature. And like I said, now it's everywhere. It's in Facebook, it's in LinkedIn, it's in Pinterest, it's in Instagram. They all have stories.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate everybody joining us today. And I just want to show you some of the upcoming webinars